Daddy needs to get his rocks off.
Alright, we are back at it again with another review. This time it's The Thing video game. This game is a sequel to John Carpenter's The Thing back in 1982, and it's a must-watch for sure. It's my favorite horror movie. Anyways, back on topic of the game. The game originally came out in 2002, so you got games like Battlefield 1942 and Metroid Prime, which look mediocre at best. I did a review on Splinter Cell, another game that came out in 2002, which you shouldn't check out because it's a terrible review. For this review, I'll be going over the remastered Steam version of the game, developed and published by Night Dive Studios, because I don't have a PS2 lying around, plus that console was before my time. This was also one of the few games that my dad played, and he told me he enjoyed it, and I think it's a really good game, even with its faults. And this is going to be my first time leaving a spoiler warning on this channel, because I'm going to go over the movie, and I really think that you should watch the movie for yourself before you watch this review. So you have been warned. Alright, so now that the weirdos are gone, I can go over the movie now. Before I truly begin, I just want to say that the special effects in this movie are insane, and still hold up better than the CGI they use in movies today. This movie is about a shape-shifting alien that crash landed into Antarctica and infects the crew of an American outpost, and they kill each other one by one. The movie is about paranoia and isolation. I also want to say I will be fast-forwarding the plot to get the video moving, and I don't have time to go over every little detail. I will also give the characters nicknames because I think it's funny, except for Palmer. I can't think of a good nickname. The movie begins with a couple of Norwegians trying to kill a dog because they're Norwegian. We then cut to the Americans and we see Solid Snake.
No, that is not Solid Snake.
Alright, fine. He could be Snake Plissken. Alright, so we then see Snake Plissken playing chess and ruining his PC. I guess he won't be running Steam on that anytime soon. The Norwegians approach the American research base and one of the Norwegians try to throw a grenade, but it slips out of his hand. And like the typical Norwegian he is, he tries to look for the grenade that could go off right now. The other Norwegian tries to tell the Americans that the dog is not really a dog, but it's actually a shape-shifting alien, but they're Americans. You'd be lucky if one of them speaks Spanish. Anyways, the Norwegian shoots bald Ed Sheeran in the leg, and Gary's mod breaks the window in the most clumsy way ever, and shoots the Norwegian in the eye. Dog guy takes the dog in, and Ed Sheeran asks, "Hey, why are they shooting at the dog?" And Doc Brown goes, "I don't know, but I think they watched the 2011 prequel." We then cut to Diabetes telling Bill Gates, "Hey, we gotta tell people what's happening." Then Bill Gates replied, "I did, but I keep getting this. Nobody asked." Hey, nobody asked. Snake and Doc Brown fly over to the Norwegian base while the dog infects one of the crew members. Now, the movie doesn't say who got infected at this point, but it's all up to you. We then cut back to the Norwegian base. They found a man to cut his own throat. A cut open icebox and one of the things. Doc Brown says, "Hey, you know what would be a good idea? What if we take it back and not wear any safety equipment?" And so they did just that. They ordered Diabetes to do an autopsy, and he claims it's normal, even though it looks like the average Reddit user. The dog annoys Ed Sheeran and orders the dog guy to put him in it with the others. So he did just that, but it did not go over well. The dog turned into this horrible abomination, so they put him on fire. Diabetes does another autopsy and claims that the creature imitates whatever it touches. Diabetes is suspicious of Dog Guy, and the boys watch footage of the Norwegians discovering the Millennium Falcon. Snake, Fat Guy, and some other guy, I don't remember who he is, supposed to be, they decided to go see the Millennium Falcon for themselves. They went back, and the Arbiter says, "Man, I can't believe this white people shit." After some time has passed, we see Diabetes using a pre-alpha build of ChatGPT of the simulation process, and it says, "Oh yeah, you're completely fucked, my guy." Bill Gates and Ed Sheeran put this thing in the storage closet, but they don't have the keys, so Bill Gates goes looking for them. We then cut to Snake and his gay love interest in the ski dozer. Gay love interest says, "The alien is not dead yet," and Snake has the most oh shit look on his face. Bill Gates went back to check on Ed Sheeran, but the thing's giving Ed Sheeran the anime girl treatment. Ed Sheeran tries to escape, and the crew catches up to him, and they kill him because he was about to say 6'7". As they are burning Ed Sheeran, they notice that Diabetes is missing, but it turns out Diabetes has been sabotaging their equipment and killed the rest of the dogs. After Diabetes tries to kill the Arbiter, the rest of the boys knock Diabetes out. The boys decide to put Diabetes in quarantine because he has COVID, and Diabetes says, "Hey Snake, watch out for Dog Eye. He's been acting real sus lately." Snake just gets up and leaves. The Arbiter wants to know who's human, and Doc Brown suggests to test the crew's blood. I'm sure nothing could go wrong with that. Never mind, someone sabotaged the blood. They accuse Gary's mom for drinking all the blood, and a big fight breaks out, which causes Bill Gates to run away because he's in the Epstein list. "Hey man, I barely knew the guy. We have hundreds of photos of you with Epstein." The crew calms down, and Gary's mom puts Snake in charge. Fast forwarding a bit, we see Snake's gay love interest doing some work, and the power goes out. He hears a strange noise and decides to investigate alone because he's white. He sees a ripped up piece of clothing with Snake's name on it, and this is the last time we see him alive. Snake, Chef Guy, and Bill Gates decide to check up on Diabetes. And there is a noose in the shack, but no one seems to question it. They do some more patrolling and come across the remains of Snake's gay love interest. Bill Gates goes back to report to the other crew members while Snake and Chef Guy go up to Snake's shack. The boys decide to barricade the main area, and Chef Guy comes back alone and claims that Snake is one of the things. Snake has a stick of dynamite and a flare and threatens to blow everyone if they get too close. "Oh, on pause!" Alright, so anyways, the boys try to do a sneak attack, but it fails and Fat Guy has a heart attack and dies. The crew tries to bring Fat Guy back to life, but the moment Doc Brown uses the defibrillator, Fat Guy's chest opens up and chops Doc Brown's arms off. Best part of the movie, by the way. Snake burns Fat Guy's remains and decides to do his own blood test by tying everyone down. But Dog Eye isn't having it and tries to stab Snake, but he's shot before he could do anything about it. After Snake tests Bill Gates, Doc Brown, and Chef Guy and Dog Eye in the most unsanitary way ever. They move on to Palmer, and it turns out he's one of those things. The crew panics, and Palmer breaks free and kills Bill Gates. Snake's flamethrower were working. It kills both Palmer and Bill Gates. Some time has passed. The Arbiter stays behind in the main area while the rest of the crew go to check on Diabetes. As the guys went to check on Diabetes, it turns out he broke quarantine and was building a spaceship from underneath the shed. The thing has some pretty good craftsmanship skills. We then cut back to the main area, and it turns out the Arbiter is gone. We cut back to the others getting back up, and the power goes out. Snake says, "None of us are going to make it out alive, but neither is that thing. We're going to blow everything up." Gary's mom and Chef Guy agree to the pact and go blow up each room one by one. Before they're done, however, they have one last place to blow up, the generator room. They each split up to place down dynamite, but Gary's mod gets attacked by Diabetes. Chef Guy goes and investigates the dark hallway because he thinks he's white. That's the last time we see him. That leaves Snake alone. He has to fight this big thing monster, so he lights up a stick of dynamite and goes back outside. Snake goes and rests outside, and he finds the Arbiter. The two grow suspicious of one another, and they just sit there until the credits roll. Overall, this is a pretty good movie. I enjoy the story and use of practical effects. I haven't seen the 2011 prequel, but I heard it's pretty bad. Alright, now it's time to review the game. The game takes place right after the movie. You play as Captain J.F. Blake. He sounds like Solid Snake. Blake is voiced by Per Soli, I think that's how you pronounce it. I could not find any information about him, so he may not be a real person for all I know. Anyways, Colonel Whitley orders you and your team to check out Outpost 31, the same one from the movie. And you can see it's all messed up now. Throughout the game, You go section to section working with other soldiers and John Carpenter to put a stop to this alien infection. At the halfway point of the game, you get captured by Colonel Whitley, and it turns out he got himself infected to evolve the human race. Some umbrella corporation type shit right there. It turns out Blake is immune to the alien virus because of plot armor. Hey, stop it! Sorry about that.
Target acquired.
And the rest of Alpha
Access
and
door
Bravo
open.
soldiers
Shoot
take
to
on
kill.
Colonel Whitley's private army and other thing creatures. At the end of the game, you kill Colonel Whitley and you ride off with some weirdo. This is a squad-based horror game, something I have not seen in any other game. If you have, let me know in the comments. Anyways, friendly NPCs do not always trust you immediately. You have to earn their trust by giving them weapons or blood tests, which doesn't work. You have to manage their mental state as well, because when too much is happening, they'll freak out and not follow orders. Speaking of friendly NPCs, there are 3 types of NPCs. The medic, which heals you and your allies. The engineer, which can open doors. And the soldier that does nothing. The game offers little fodder enemies that you can shoot with normal bullets, but the bigger and tougher enemies, you first need to pump belly full of lead, and then you can burn them. Like I said earlier, the game offers human enemies. They're pretty basic, so I'm not going to go over them. The game has boss fights, but I swear they start off in the wrong order. The first boss, which is really hard, but as you soon later go on throughout the game, it gets really easy. The Thing received a remaster back in 22 years after the initial release. The remaster updates a few visuals, fixes some gameplay elements, and it even adds Knowles, the chef guy. Everyone loves the remaster, including myself, and I think you should check that as well. Even though the remaster itself is good, I still wish they'd do a full-on remake. The game is still very scripted, and the gameplay can be weird at times. I know originally back in 2002, they want everything to be different, but the technology wasn't ready at the time, so they were forced to work with what they have. The remaster kind of fixes that, but there are still scripted sequences. Another thing I want to talk about is friendly NPCs disappearing after you finish the level. For example, for the bomb sequence, you can save a few allies, but when the next level loads, you're all alone, which kind of pisses me off. Final thing I want to talk about is Blake being immune to the virus. I just find that plot point to be very stupid, and the Colonel being comically evil at the halfway point doesn't sit right with me, considering how serious the movie's trying to be. Overall, I find this game to be enjoyable. The game should take you around 6.5 hours to beat. The characters you meet are likable, my favorite being Pace. He has a funny accent. And it's a shame you have to kill them or leave them behind. Blake himself is quite likable. And that's all I have to say about him. You should check out the movie if you haven't already. Overall, I give this game an 8 out of 10.